Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser coming to you from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for this week's midweek reflection. And this week I'm reflecting on the great question a lot of people are asking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We are now less than 2 weeks away from the election, and a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen. Well, of course we're asking that question because it's a question we ask all the time in this age of anxiety. We're worried about so many things. That's one of the problems. We worry about so many things. The second problem is that, and what I really want to reflect on today, what is going to happen? Now, when I ask that question, we automatically think that the answer to the question is about 100% what's happening outside of me and 0% about what's happening inside of me. So what's going to happen is, where's the storm going to hit? Who's going to win the election? What's going to happen with the stock market? With all these things, what's going to happen? We always think is what's happening out there. But a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, shared with me a post the other day, and he said 90% of life, well, let me take it back. 10% of life is what happens around you, and 90% of your life is what you do with it. And that is so, so true. It's about what we do with whatever is going to happen. So when we say what's going to happen, the real answer is, well, what are we going to do about what happens outside of us? That's what happens. It's not what happens outside. It's a little bit of that. 10% maybe is probably a good estimate. The other 9% is, what do I do about it? How do I react to it? How do I look at it? How do I feel about it? How do I perceive it? And most importantly, where is God in all of it? So let's take the election. A lot of people worried, what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen? The candidate that you like is either going to win or the other one will. And if the other one wins, whoever that other one is for you, if that's what's going to happen to you, well, you're in big trouble. Because now you're going to go, oh, what's going to happen? The country's going away and democracy's dying. All those crazy things that people say. But if what's going to happen is your reaction to it, then you know what? Okay, 10%, it's better, it's worse according to you. Nobody knows because none of us tell the future. But the reality is if 90% of life is about how we react to it, we don't have to worry about what's going to happen out there. What we really should be doing, especially if you're worried about the election, start right now. Think what's happening in here. What's going on in your reactions, in your perception? And most importantly, again, where is God? Is God some super being that's out there somewhere that has no concern about you, and that all he does is he puts you in this world, and maybe your candidate loses or your team loses or the stock market crashes or whatever, and you're just going to suffer and die? Like, if that is, no. Our God came here to show us that no matter what happens out there, we can have peace inside, in here, because that's where he is. He's in here with us. He said right before ascending back to his Father, I am with you always to the ends of the earth. Always. In the middle of election, in the middle of scary economic times, in the middle of all of our anxiety. And why are we anxious? Because we forget God is here. If we can remember that by praying, by focusing on him, by reading the Bible and not reading so much of internet news and all the other social media stuff out there, then we're going to see that, you know what, it doesn't matter so much what happens out there. Yeah, 10%. What really matters is what we do about it, because that's what makes up our life. And thank God we have a God who loves us, who came down from out there to be with us here and to reside even within us. That's what's going to happen. That's what has happened. And if we can remember that, then anything else that's happening out there really doesn't make all that much of a difference. So let's remember that God is with us. He's within us. He's guiding us, he's loving us, he's caring for us, he's protecting us. We may suffer in life, that's life. But no matter what happens out there, we're okay with him because he's in here with us. And it's all going to be okay. So I hope you found this helpful. If so, please share with your family, friends, neighbors, anybody else. And we'll see you, God willing, in next week's video.